Welcome to Meet the Missouri Horse Professional. I'm your host, Jennifer Hurt of JRs Equine Spa Retreat, and I'm interviewing Missouri horse professionals in your area. Join me in meeting this week's talented Missouri horse professional. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Missouri Horse Professional. I'm Jennifer, your host, and we are here at the location of JRs Equine Spa Retreat. Today I have Jennifer Beyer of TwoSlidin Performance Horses. Jennifer, thank you for coming and interviewing with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Now, one thing, guys, I want to point out, because as you know, we pride ourselves on being dustless, and as you can tell, we are dust full. And the reason is because we brought in tons more sand. I do have some woe dust, as you guys have heard me talk about woe dust in the past. Great product we get from Canada that helps treat and keeps the dust down so you don't have to water it as much. That is why there's a lot of dust going on. We normally don't have it this dusty, but that's the situation. When you want to put in new footing, you got to go through the process of getting it prepared, right? So
that's right.
And as you may or may not know, we're really wanting to cater kind of more to the reiners and cutters, which is why we're bringing in all the footing.
Excellent.
Which you guys, after we get closer to the end of the interview, I'm going to be pushing Jennifer as to when she is going to do clinics and lessons out here, because I've been trying to get her out here for a while now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So anyway, let's dig into the businesses. When did you start? Let's hear your background.
Oh gosh. Well, I went to work for an NRHA professional, Randy Cutworth, in Willard, Missouri, right after I graduated from college.
Nice.
So I worked for him, and I really hadn't done any reiners prior to working for him. I thought that I wanted to be a pleasure horse trainer.
Really?
Yes. And then when I met him and went to work for him, and I thought, if I can train a reiner, I can train anything I want.
There you go.
And once I rode a reining horse, I was hooked.
So how long have you worked for Randy?
So I worked for Randy for 7 years, and then he passed away. So I probably started my own business, I think, in 2007.
2007? Mm-hmm. Nice. So let me do the math on that.
It's been a minute.
16 years? Yeah. Math was actually my good subject. So
it was not mine.
That long.
Definitely not mine.
Well, that's great. So, and you were out at Longhorn training for there for a long time before moving it back to your place.
When I first went out on my own, actually, Becky Phillips and I trained out of Randy's barn.
Oh,
so we trained
nice.
out of there for a while together, which was super fun. And then she went to, I think she went to Texas. No, we went to Longhorn together. We moved and started training out of Longhorn together again. And it was Flying M Arena at the time. And then, and then Becky went to Texas to work for some people, and I stayed there working. And I was
swapped.
Yes, definitely.
I bet you were swapped. Mm-hmm. And this is another thing I want to touch in, because if everybody doesn't know, they should know, is I come from a background of Arabians and quarter horses, and I absolutely love the Arabians. I'm starting to get a little bit more back into the quarter horses, only because we're going to do half Arabian, half quarter horses. But you're like only really one of the few in Missouri that I've heard that has professionally shown Arabians. Am I correct?
I don't know. I don't know. Never thought about that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day, because I knew we were going to do this interview, and I'm going, now I know Jennifer has shown at Scottsdale.
Yes, I have.
And you guys, which is huge. Scottsdale.
That's super cool.
Yeah. If you guys aren't into the Arabian world, how would you equivalent that to the quarter horses?
I don't know.
Fraternity, it's a big to-do.
There's the vibe at that show, and it's been a minute since I've been there, but it was just, cool vibe, huge vibe.
Yes.
It was pretty exciting. It's pretty neat.
In the Arabian world, when people are like, oh, that horse went to Scottsdale. What? Yeah, no, that's how the Arabian people view Scottsdale. Almost as much as our nationals, that level. So that was really cool to hear that. And, which I think is important. The reason what I'm getting at is because, quarter horses and Arabians train differently, but yet similar.
Yes.
So, and I think it's really neat that you're able to work with that.
Yeah, and like I said, it's been a minute since I've ridden an Arabian, or trained an Arabian, but when the first one I did, I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2009, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
She taught me a lot, and she ended up being a really neat horse. She could spin like any quarter horse I'd ever had, changed leads, ended up winning quite a bit with that little horse, and she was really neat because she taught me a lot that, like, they're a lot tougher than I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, and like could handle more than what I thought.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the beginning,
People
I was
think they're
kind of,
fatigued.
yes,
Yeah.
I was kind of tentative to really push her and that kind of stuff. And I ended up working cows on her.
Oh, wow.
I showed her, and so I showed her out in Scottsdale for, I don't know, maybe, I can't remember how many years, but I did her 2 fraternity years, and then I went back at least one more year, and I ended up showing her in the limited cow horse.
Oh,
and we won
nice.
that, and so that was pretty cool. But I learned that they're a lot tougher and can hold up a lot more than what I was expecting.
And because I do come from the Arabian world, one of our boarders here, even though she has half-wingers now because
Okay.
she's older, but she has a lot of Arabians, and she has a lot of the Arabians you used to train.
Yes.
And so anytime she hears your name brought up, she's like, oh my gosh, you did a great job with this horse. You did a great job. Oh my God,
thank
Jennifer's
you.
such a great trainer. And that's another thing is, I've got 2 boarders here whose horses had just come from you, and then one who's about to leave to you because she heard how much the other 2 were bragging about you. And I'd love to have a barn full of all your horses when you're done. But, one of them is a thoroughbred. And
Yeah.
so, it's just nice. I think that's really important to people because quarter horses and Arabians and thoroughbreds, they're all different.
They are different.
And you're able to work around that. And I think that is like a golden nugget for a trainer is to be able to
Yeah.
work on all that.
I agree, and it's also kind of one of the neat things is because it is kind of challenging.
Yeah.
I've got my bubble where I'm comfortable in, but it's fun to take something that's a little different and
Yeah.
be able to work with it and progress it. So that is pretty cool.
Well, we've already touched on a little bit of your Scottsdale wins with the Arabians, but let's go ahead and brag even further. Tell us more of some of your show history
Oh,
and
gosh,
things
I don't-
you've done.
I don't know. It's hard when you put me on this spot.
I know. And people don't know how to brag about themselves. We get humble and we're like, oh, I do okay. No, you're doing fabulous because there's somebody who's watching going, I want to be her. I want to be her.
Let's see. I don't know. Last year, we took Suzanne Cole's mare to Buckskin World.
Nice.
And I think I was reserve all-around ranch horse on her. Won a world
Nice.
championship in ranch trail on her. Reserve in the ranch riding. I can't remember. I've slept since then, but
I hear it.
She did pretty well
Yeah.
for me. Let's see. One of the probably fun ones that was way back a long time ago, which I guess I should probably point out too, that I train mostly reiners and ranch horses.
Yeah.
With the occasional, thoroughbred or
Yeah, right.
whatever. But one of the cool things, way back in 2012, I showed Steady Spirit Star, who's a Palomino stud that we showed in several people have shown in reining and just a cool horse. But anyway, way
Yeah.
back in 2012, we took him to the AQHA World Show, and I showed him in the very first ranch. It was called Ranch Pleasure class then instead of ranch riding.
Oh
And I
my
showed him in
gosh.
the inaugural class there at the World Show, and we ended up 6th place. And that was kind of cool because that was way before the ranch riding and the ranch horse events have really taken off.
They
now.
really have,
And
yeah.
back then, it was like I said, it was just getting started. So it was
Yeah.
really cool to have been a part of that. And I remember
part of the beginning.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
remember they took a picture at the end of all the finalists and everything, just
Yeah.
because it was the first one, and so that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
That was a neat one. I don't know. Last year at the NRHA Fraternity in the Limited Open, I was top 10 in the affiliate deal with
Really?
Rick Davis's horse, a Spooky Gal. So she's one
Oh,
I've gotten
that's
to show a lot in the ring
awesome.
and had some success with. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is really great. So you're actively taking horses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure you limit those, how many you take, or...
Into training?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you do a lot of lessons, right?
I do, yes. I have training horses and I do a lot of lessons. We go to a lot of horse shows. I show and I have non-pros that show.
That's awesome. So you're coaching them then too during the shows.
Yep.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So Sarah is one of the people that sent her horse to be reworked because he was already trained, but it was to focus more on his Western Pleasure.
Yes, and just kind of getting him forward and moving a little bit better. He just needed a little bit more finishing. I guess a few more buttons if you want to.
And I imagine a lot of people do that, kind of send them to you and kind of finish them up
Yep.
and get
Yep.
those buttons on there.
Yep.
That's really good. So
Yes, once again, like I said, the reining, when you've got the fundamentals for the reining, you can kind of help, I think you can help pretty much any horse.
And I agree with that. And we're just now starting to dive into the reining like we wanted to. I mean, we had the goal to start that 11, 12
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah.
and then with our stallions injury, and then
Yep.
building this facility that has
Life just
taken
gets in the
7
way.
years. Yeah. And so now we're getting to the point where we're like, okay, we're going to start getting
Yes.
into this. And so let's go ahead and talk about, now that we're getting better footing, and, we waited on the footing because being we were a rehab facility,
Right.
and some of the boarders we were coming in, they didn't want a lot of deep footing. And now, like I said, we're kind of like, we're tired of working. We want to get into what we're interested in, which is the reading and cutting,
Right.
which is why we're bringing it in. So, we're going to get you out here for clinics
Yes.
and lessons.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I am game for any time you want to do that. And we
Okay.
got more construction going on to where we're going to have a lot more parking
Okay.
and even some outdoor stalls with
Oh.
roofs. So that way we can have overnight
Okay.
clinics too. I think
a great
that would be
idea,
great. And so, yeah, definitely would love for you to be a big part of that.
Yes, I would love to.
Because I know before you said you actually wanted to be Western Pleasure
Yes.
before you decided to be a reiner.
Yes.
Was there any other disciplines you kind of tinkered
So
into?
that was one of the good benefits of when I went to school. I went to William Wood University, and
Oh, nice.
there it was kind of cool because I got to ride hunt seat, saddle seat, Western, and that versatility has kind of carried through with my training.
Yeah.
So you pick up a little bit of stuff from every discipline that you ride. So I think that's really helped me in my program. And
Yeah, I think working with the different horses because you
Yep.
and hunt seat is different than
Yes.
riding Western.
very different.
Different muscles being used in your
different
body.
muscles, and I remember I think about this occasionally. Back then, we used to do the whole 2-point without irons, and I'm like, I think about that now.
That
I'm
is
like,
wonderful.
like, I don't
You
even-
guys might not know what that means, but that is wonderful in my book.
Yes, and I don't even know if I could stay in the hunt seat saddle anymore, but
Yeah, I don't know if I could either,
And
but-
they're all different. And the saddle
Yeah.
seat, I really struggled with. I remember that.
Saddle seat is
It is so different.
because you're kind of more in a chair position, which
Yes.
is totally different
Yes.
muscles from all the other ones.
And once I got it, it was really fun, but that was a struggle. But yeah, so that was kind of the neat part of being able to have some diversity in the background.
And I think that's really neat. Not only the diversity as far as the riding styles and working with the different breeds, but different motions.
Different motions.
Yes. Those Arabians and quarter horse or saddlebreds and all
Yes.
that, they really get them high action.
Different motions with the horses, and also different coaching techniques from
Yeah.
some of the instructors that I rode with and through the disciplines too. So that was kind of helpful, I guess.
I agree, and I think that's really. I get such a kick because with the horse business, it seems like you can have a trainer, a farrier, a vet, a body worker.
Takes a village.
It takes a village, but they're all going to have different opinions.
Yes, absolutely.
And each one in their professional is going to have a different opinion from their peers. And I think it's great because what worked for sorry for the wind. We had to open the doors, you guys. It was a little hot. Hopefully you can hear us and don't hear the wind. We done Ron's interview,
Okay.
and the wind was
whistling.
and that's one reason why I got this mic. You guys, we got a mic hidden in this plant, and that way you can hear a little bit better. But that wind feels good.
It does feel really good.
You don't want to see two Jennifers sweating to death. So you've had this diversified riding, diversified horses background, which is excellent. So in different coaches.
Yes.
So in coaching, now that you're coaching, what's the important thing that you want to instill into your students?
One of the things that I was blessed with in having worked for Randy was that he not only was an excellent horseman and trainer, but he was an excellent teacher.
That's
And
awesome. I'm
so-
gonna move that up. I'm hoping I block the wind. I want to hear this, so I don't want any.
So I feel like I picked up a lot of my coaching and that type of things from Randy.
Yeah.
And Randy was very big on teaching his non-pros to ride their horses. So it wasn't just that they come out and yell at them what to do. Yes, there was a little bit of that involved, but he wanted them to be able to ride their horses and to continue to be able to train them. And I think that
That's important.
It is very important, and that's one of the neatest things in helping people is like when there's a light bulb moment for them on understanding. Yes, if I'm training a horse, I hope I can put you on there for the most part and you can operate it. But if there's a light bulb moment where you figure out, in the process, that's extra cool for everybody. So, and you're not always going to have your horse with the trainer, so I want you to be able to carry that on when you're on your own.
That is awesome. That is great. Well, it must work because people brag about you everywhere I go. I've never heard a bad thing about your training,
I
your
don't know
coaching.
about that,
I haven't.
Well,
I mean,
thank
and I've had people here with foxtrotters
Yes,
who have told me
that's
that with you. Arabians, quarter horses, thoroughbreds. I mean, everybody has told me that, and I think they feel comfortable with you, and I think that's very important. So whether they're an amateur rider or a very seasoned rider, you got to be comfortable with
You
your
do.
coach.
And that is one thing. Not everybody fits with every coach, and that's something you have to learn in this business is you can't take stuff personally either because
And
some
that's
people
tough.
it is tough. It is
Experienced. I know how tough it can be. So that
tough.
is.
Some people just fit better with
Yeah.
a different style.
And you know, for people who haven't had lessons, who want to have lessons, when a coach does tell you something, they're not picking on you. And they actually say the people who, I saw a neat saying, and I've got it probably saved somewhere, something about the really serious riders who really want to become good riders. They want that. They want that feedback. They want you to be brutally honest, and I would.
Definitely.
You know, I would want people to.
Definitely.
So.
And I think even as trainers, we all want to keep improving too. So that's why we go and ride with other trainers. And we, you know, I don't want to go ride with someone and have them just pat me on the back. I need them to tell me what. What
especially like someone like you who is going to show.
Yeah.
And you know, so let's pick up something. And that's one thing I like. You know, when I'm out here riding, I even tell the boarders, tell me if I'm doing something wrong. You know, tell me. And maybe this is the body worker coming out in me, because one thing that has really been instilled in me, especially in the last year, through my bodywork courses, is the way your saddle fit is going to affect your body. The way you ride is going to affect the horse. And if you're not winning ribbons, it could be as simple as your leg position is off, or your hand position is off. And so let those people catch that and tell you. Another thing I discovered, this is the craziest thing. So this is years ago. A family member had me over, and I was riding one of her horses and stuff, and she said, do you know when you ride your right foot, you toe it out? And I just toe it out just a couple inches more. And I'm like, you know, I've kind of noticed that. So then when in walking, I would notice I would toe out my right foot in walking. So then I had to realize, Jennifer, be conscious of walking straight. And once I started doing that, I was having a little bit of knee pain. It went away.
Oh, wow.
You know, and so it's like, that's that body position, you know, and so, and what they really, really say, especially these people who maybe don't know mystery lameness in their horse, that can come from the rider. If the rider is off, having a little bit of knee pain,
they're
and
compensating.
So they're compensating, and the horse compensates.
Absolutely.
So I'm all for tell me what I'm doing wrong. So that's great. So
we all see that. Whenever we watch videos, sometimes it's painful to watch the videos, but it's like, really, was I doing that? Why was I doing that?
Yeah, I love watching the videos because it doesn't lie.
No, they do not.
Well, that is great. So any other messages that you would like to tell our viewers before I kind of wrap this up, or a little bit about you? Who is Jennifer? Let's get deep here. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know how to answer that question.
I know.
Just the horses. Horses are wonderful for everybody, and we all have a different journey with them.
Yes.
So just keep after it. We all struggle. There's ups and downs for everybody, whether you're a professional, an amateur, or someone just trying to get in.
Yeah.
So just they're worth it though. They're worth it.
And being that you've mentioned amateurs, I'm just going to throw this out there, especially now that we're going to get you a little bit more involved here.
That's right.
I would like to, in the future, and me and Sarah have actually talked about this, is little mini workshops or little clinics to help amateurs get into this. Because even for me, who's been in the horse world all my life and have been interested in reining in 14, 15 years, I don't know the rules.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And it can be intimidating.
It can be intimidating. And it's like, where do you start? And so I think we're going to have that kind of stuff here. And even down to, like, let's say the Western Pleasure people, their outfits, what's in style, because that matters. Makeup,
it does matter.
your tack look, the finishing, the braiding, all of that little picture. And it can be overwhelming to someone who's interested. So,
yeah, that's a great idea.
You'll have to be a part of that. That would be awesome. So this is the end of the session. So I kind of turn around the table and let you interview me. And so I let you ask me one question about JRs Equine Spa Retreat.
Okay. I guess one thing is, so this is obviously a beautiful facility. How did you, in building this, and as you continue to build it and make it better, how do you prioritize where your money goes in?
Oh, that's a good question, guys, because money is in a small pot like this, and this is a big project.
Yes,
so that has been really kind of difficult and tough for us. And, we do the work ourselves, which is why me and Ron are so tired. We got bags and wrinkles and all kinds of stuff because he had me on the crane.
I remember hearing that story, but you guys are still married and you still love each other.
That's one thing that we discovered is we worked so well together. Most couples don't. We did. In fact, we got closer doing this project. It was crazy. Awesome. Yeah. I kind of had the vision. He's like, okay, this is how we execute that vision, but you're going to execute it with me. I mean, he had me wiring and framing and stuff, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And he's like, you're going to do it. But, we do have a lot more projects, and money is a big factor, especially in this economy. I've been open that our equity loan that we took out for this building is on a variable rate, and they did, in fact, tell me it's going to go up in August. So there's more money going out than coming in. And so we've had to get a little bit more creative in getting money in. And I'm not charging the board rate I should be for this kind of facility, and it's
Right.
because it has been under construction. And so, I felt like until it was fully 100% open, I can't charge the 100% open fee, but it's competitive with everybody else's and stuff like that. And I'm always trying to think of things to do that would benefit a person utilizing the place, because to me, I want to stand out, but I want to also help people. I want them to succeed in the horse business, because we all have that passion.
Yes.
We all want to be at the top, and money's a factor. It is hard to get onto the top. And there's a lot of people who feel, and it's true, that you need to have the money to look the part, to
Right.
be taken serious, so
Right.
they spend all their money on their rigs or their trailer. And there's those of us who are like, well, I've got this trailer, it works, it don't
It's
look the
paid
greatest,
for.
it's paid for.
Yep.
And,
It's safe.
yeah, it's safe, and so hopefully we can turn that around, and, someday, would be nice. Anyway, all right, well, we'll wrap this up. Again, we got Jennifer's contact number here if you guys want lessons or training. She's great to work with, believe me. I can't even tell you how many compliments I get. I'm dead serious. So I'm not just saying that. But anyway, you guys, go to her if you need help. She'll make you feel comfortable, welcome. She will help you and your horse, whatever problem it is. And I want to thank you guys for joining. Oh, one other thing before I wrap this up. You guys, if you guys like this content, social media does not share this content unless there's a lot of engagement on it. So please like this post. Tag your friends, share it. Go to Jennifer's page, TwoSlidin Performance Horses, and like her page. Go to our page, JRs Equine Spa Retreat. Also, Meet the Missouri Horseman. Meet the Missouri Horse Professional. Horse Professional. Like that page so you can keep up with the latest videos. You guys, let's help all the Missouri professionals. We got some great professionals in this area.
Lots of great professionals.
A lot of great
here.
professionals, and a lot of people don't know about them because we don't see their content because social media doesn't share it. So let's engage and get it shared. I want to thank you guys for joining us.